A few videos ago, I flew Turkish Airlines long haul for the first time, and I didn't really have the best experience. But today, I'm back on board their 787 business class for the long transatlantic back to Europe, from Caracas to Istanbul, to give it another shot. And well, hold on a second, do I actually kind of like Turkish Airlines now? See what worked better on this one and what my final take is on whether you should spend your hard-earned money with Turkish, all coming right up.
After 5 amazing days here in Venezuela, so different from what I expected, from what I heard coming in, did a bunch of interesting flights, got to know the people at Avior Air, caught the 737-200 with Venezolana, also managed to go to a baseball game, climb the mountain back there. It's time to head back to Europe with Turkish Airlines again. My trip out here was so-so, I would say. Perfectly fine, but nothing so amazing. So I'm curious now to try out Turkish one more time to see how it varies. Is it much more impressive this time? About the same? I'm expecting the latter, but I'm willing to be surprised. Long one over to Istanbul again, overnight, departing just before noon here, so getting some sleep might be a little more difficult this time. And then, again, the relatively quick hop, 3 hours or so up to Stockholm afterwards. So, let's see how it goes with Turkish round 2.
Back in the surprisingly pleasant Maiquetía Airport here in Caracas with its classical music and fish tanks. Who else didn't see that coming? And let's head to the Aero VIP lounge that Turkish Airlines passengers get to use here. It is very so-so, but it has good views at least. Dirty windows, very clean plane. This 787-9 Tango Charlie Lima Lima Zulu was delivered to Turkish just 1 month prior, and it looks very much factory fresh. As I covered in the last video, link up top in case you missed that, the cabin is pleasant, the seat looks and feels nice, it's just a little more cramped than others. But here in the light of day with a pre-departure orange juice, I'm liking this a lot. I really do enjoy the fabrics on this seat and inside the shell, they look and feel great. The onboard chef is taking meal orders. What do you think of this? Does it add value, or is it just gimmicky to have someone as the designated chef on board and actually dressed for the part? I have kind of mixed feelings actually. At the moment, Copa is one of the most reliable ways to enter Venezuela from the rest of the Americas, via Panama City of course. They have a handful of flights a day to Caracas as well as to a few other cities in the country. Would you believe I've still never flown them? Time to head out for this 10-hour, 45-minute flight. Ciao for now, El Avila.
seatbelt fastened and remain seated until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. For your own safety, we kindly remind you to keep...
Service starts off with a hot towel and a small bottle of water, also warm nuts. It's clear already this is a much better crew today than on my flight coming in. More friendly and proactive, offering drink refills, checking on passengers. That's what you want to see. It can make all the difference between a mediocre and really quite a good flight. For lunch, we've got a tomato soup, very tasty, and I go all in with the steak and potatoes. This was also really good. Dessert is the Turkish selection, including some baklava. Loved it. I got some fruit as well, and I quite like how they serve it in a glass like this. Then to finish things off, an herbal tea, of which they have many varieties and combinations. It continues to be true that food and drink is really the Turkish Airlines' strong point. These seat controls are touch-sensitive, vaguely haptic, and I can't stand them. You often have to press a few times before they do anything. Can the world please move on from haptic, poorly functioning, touch-sensitive buttons, please? Haven't we all had enough at this point? This is also a plague in modern cars. But there, these buttons are downright dangerous. Here, it's just a persistent, mild annoyance. Nevertheless, I'd like to see them gone. But anyway, so far so good. Let's get comfortable and settle in for the rest of this long haul across the ocean. I actually sleep a good 6 hours on this one, despite the cabin being kept a little too warm again. I might have slept longer, but they threw on the cabin lights and started serving breakfast 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to landing. This flight lands in the early morning, so it's still dark out. I don't see why they couldn't have waited until, say, 90 minutes before. What are your thoughts on this? For breakfast, it's a fairly standard issue fruit plate and omelet with potato, spinach, and tomato. It's not bad though. And an Americano. I like the coffee they serve on board, and it's nice that they have proper espresso drinks.
Sonra İstanbul Uluslararası Havalimanı için alışverişimize başlayacağız. 50 dakika içerisinde inişimizi gerçekleştirmeyi planlıyoruz.
Then it's a gradual descent into Istanbul. And if I'm nitpicking, which I think I should be, I noticed they weren't very thorough with the service before landing. This pile of rubbish sat on my side table for an hour until I finally stuffed it into a pocket so it wouldn't go flying on landing. Still, this was quite a nice flight. The crew really made all the difference. The hard product is quite good, but like I mentioned, it's a little on the cramped side and the seat controls are annoying, so they really do rely on the soft product to make the flight memorable. This flight was a great example of what a difference a friendlier and more proactive crew can make. Now I'm wondering how much will Istanbul Airport annoy me this time, especially as it's early in the morning and after a long flight. Let's see. I definitely did not see this kind of presentation on board. Does that really exist? I detest this airport. My opinion is firm now. After trying it 3 times, it's just terrible. The lounge was very full again, even though you can't quite see it here. I waited in line for a coffee and I'd finally found a seat to enjoy it when my shower buzzer went off. Oh well, I'll get the coffee later, I guess. Shower rooms look nice, right? But they haven't been cleaned properly. There are hairs everywhere. Outside, the carpets are water-stained. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a premium experience here. But hey, a shower is better than no shower. I didn't film too much of my next leg home. I mostly passed out and it was very uneventful. But I'll leave you with some nice shots from early morning at Istanbul Airport. Yes, sorry to those of you who inexplicably like this airport, I still really can't stand it. However, this trip home was overall quite good, despite some minor misses. I've said it before, but Turkish Airlines remains a great option when you can grab one of their many very good premium cabin fares. Sometimes they undercut the competition by quite a lot. So if I can find those fares, I am definitely still a buyer. Will I dread the connection a bit, and will I maybe wish TK could be a slightly better airline than it is? Yes. But you will probably see me booking another flight on them before too long, simply because the price to quality ratio is actually pretty good. Check the description for links to all my Venezuela videos for Flight Radar 24 and the flight coming over here that's on my channel. Thanks for coming along as always, and I'll catch you next time.